Have you ever woken up with a tight chest or a knot in your stomach and thought, why am I feeling this way? You didn't have a bad dream, no one's called with bad news, yet something just feels off. It's not uncommon, especially after 60, to find that our emotions have started behaving differently. What once felt like a passing worry now sometimes lingers a little too long. And even when life seems calm on the outside, it can still feel like there's a quiet storm inside. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people experience more emotional ups and downs later in life, and it's not because there's anything wrong with you. Our bodies and minds shift as we age. Hormones change, routines slow down, and sometimes we find ourselves thinking more than we used to. Reflecting on the past. Worrying about the future. That reflection can be powerful, but if it turns into worry or anxiety, it can weigh us down. That's why today, we're going to gently walk through 7 simple techniques to help reduce anxiety and lift your mood without needing a prescription or a packed schedule. These aren't complex fixes. In fact, most of them are things you can do right in the comfort of your own home, starting today. And the best part? They're part of what I like to call a daily emotional check-in, a gentle way to care for your mind just like you care for your body. So, take a deep breath with me. Just a nice, slow inhale, and let it go. Let's begin with the first simple technique that can truly set the tone for your entire day. Let's talk about how you start your morning. Believe it or not, the first 5 minutes after you wake up are some of the most important minutes of your entire day. It's during this time that your mind is most open, still quiet from sleep, not yet flooded with to-do lists or worries. So instead of grabbing your phone or turning on the news right away, try this: sit up, stretch a little, and ask yourself out loud, how am I feeling right now? It might feel strange at first. But checking in with your emotional state in the morning creates a moment of awareness before the day begins pulling you in all directions. Are you feeling anxious? Calm? Lonely? Grateful? Whatever it is, give yourself a moment to acknowledge it. No need to judge or fix anything, just notice it. This one habit alone can reduce that underlying tension we sometimes carry without realizing it. And when we name what we're feeling, it starts to lose some of its power over us. And while you're at it, add just one more layer to your morning check-in. Think of something, anything, you're looking forward to that day. Maybe it's your afternoon cup of tea, a phone call with a friend, or even just your favorite cozy blanket waiting on the couch. It doesn't have to be big. Just one thing that brings a spark of joy. That small moment of anticipation can shift your mood and give your brain something positive to focus on right from the start. Now, let's move into another powerful yet gentle practice, breathing. Yes, I know, it sounds simple. But that's exactly why it works. When you're feeling anxious, your breath usually becomes shallow and quick, even if you don't notice it. But here's the good news: you can reverse that feeling almost instantly by changing how you breathe. I want to show you something called the 4-7-8 technique. You can do it anywhere, anytime, sitting in your chair, lying in bed, or even standing in line at the grocery store. All you do is inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. That's one round. Do 3 or 4 of those, and you'll feel your heart rate slow down, your muscles loosen, and your mind start to settle. The reason it works so well is because it gives your nervous system a signal that it's safe to relax. When we're anxious, our bodies act like we're in danger, even when we're just sitting at home thinking about something that might not even happen. But when you breathe slowly and deeply, your body starts to say, okay, we're okay. And that message travels up to your brain, letting it know that it's safe to calm down, too. And while we're on the topic of calming the nervous system, let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough credit: movement. No, I'm not talking about running a mile or doing aerobics, unless that's your thing. I'm talking about gentle, intentional movement that helps your body release stress and build a better mood. One of the easiest ways to do this is through something called mindful walking. You don't even have to leave your house if you don't want to. Simply walk slowly from one room to another, without any distractions. No phone, no TV, no music. Just you and your feet. Pay attention to the feeling of your heels touching the floor. Notice the shift in weight as you move from one leg to the other. This kind of simple movement helps bring your attention back to the present moment, instead of letting your thoughts race into the future or the past. If you do have the option to get outside, even better. Sunlight is one of nature's best mood boosters, and walking with purpose, even just for 5 or 10 minutes, can do wonders. If you've ever felt your mood lift after a walk around the block, that's not a coincidence. It's your body releasing chemicals that literally help you feel better. These small habits, checking in with your emotions in the morning, breathing intentionally, and moving gently, might not seem like much on their own. But when you bring them into your daily rhythm, they start to build a kind of emotional foundation. One that helps you feel more balanced, more centered, and more capable of handling whatever the day throws at you. Now that we've eased into these first steps, starting your morning with intention, calming your breath, and moving your body gently, let's continue exploring the simple ways you can reconnect with yourself and brighten your mood. Now that we've eased into a few grounding habits, let's keep going deeper, not harder. Because the truth is, taking care of our emotional health after 60 isn't about overhauling our lives. It's about learning how to be more gentle, more in tune with what we really need. And sometimes, what we need most is connection. It's amazing how quickly a simple moment of genuine connection can shift our mood. Yet, as we get older, those moments don't always come as easily. Maybe friends have moved away, family members are busy, or life just feels quieter than it used to. But here's the thing, connection doesn't have to mean big social events or constant phone calls. Sometimes, just a short, meaningful exchange with one person can be enough to lift your spirits. Try reaching out to someone, even if it's just for a quick 5-minute conversation. You don't need to have a long story to share or a big reason to call. A simple, "Hey, I was thinking of you," can open the door to a conversation that warms your heart. And if you don't feel like calling someone today, even writing a short message or sending a note can make a difference for both of you. Human connection reminds us that we matter. That we're seen. That someone out there still cares. And just as importantly, it gives us the chance to care for someone else. That exchange, giving and receiving, is deeply healing. Especially when anxiety or sadness creeps in. Another form of connection that often gets overlooked is the connection we have with ourselves. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen that connection is through journaling. Now, before you think, "I'm not a writer," don't worry, this isn't about writing essays or being poetic. It's about giving yourself a private space to let your thoughts out without judgment. All you need is a notebook and a pen. Set a timer for just 5 minutes and write whatever comes to mind. Maybe it's what you're feeling. Maybe it's something that happened that day. Or maybe it's just a list of things that are bothering you. There are no rules. The goal isn't to fix anything, it's just to release what's inside. And over time, you may find that you begin to understand your emotions more clearly, like untangling a knot one small strand at a time. If you ever feel anxious and don't know why, journaling can be a powerful tool to get to the root of it. Sometimes our minds get so full, our thoughts spin in circles, and we don't even realize how much we're carrying. But when you see your thoughts written down, it creates space between you and them. You realize, I am not my thoughts. I am the one observing them. That small shift can make a world of difference. And if journaling isn't quite your thing, there's another beautiful way to connect inward, through music. Music has a way of reaching the parts of us that words can't. It can calm us, energize us, even bring a tear to our eyes in the best kind of way. Creating a short playlist of songs that make you feel good can be like having a little emotional first aid kit at your fingertips. Think about the music that makes you feel peaceful, or joyful, or inspired. Play it while you're cooking, walking, or just sitting quietly with a cup of tea. Let the melodies carry your thoughts somewhere lighter. Your mind and heart will thank you. Of course, connection and reflection are just part of the picture. There's something else that's often overlooked when it comes to mood, and that's how we speak to ourselves. The little voice in your head. You know the one. That voice that can either lift you up or tear you down, depending on the day. After 60, we often carry decades of self-talk patterns. And not all of them are kind. Sometimes, without even realizing it, we say things to ourselves that we would never say to someone we love. We criticize our bodies, our decisions, even our memory. But here's the truth: you deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own encouragement. Especially now. So here's something simple you can do every morning, or even throughout the day. When you catch yourself thinking something negative about yourself, pause. Take a breath. And gently replace it with something kind. It doesn't have to be over the top. Just something true and supportive. Like, I'm doing the best I can today, or I may not feel my best, but I'm still showing up. This kind of self-compassion takes practice. It won't feel natural right away, especially if you've spent years being hard on yourself. But little by little, it creates a new tone in your inner world, one that helps calm anxiety and brighten your outlook. Because when you start to treat yourself like someone worth caring for, everything begins to shift. And if you ever feel silly talking to yourself with kindness, just remember, we talk to plants and they grow. Imagine what happens when we do the same for our own spirit. We've talked about reconnecting with others, expressing your feelings through writing, finding peace in music, and shifting the way you speak to yourself. These aren't big, dramatic changes, but they are powerful. And when you make them a regular part of your day, they start to create an emotional rhythm, a sense of steadiness, even when life feels uncertain. Let's keep this rhythm going and explore one more way to nurture your emotional health with ease and grace. Let's continue building that rhythm, the one that brings more peace, more presence, and a lighter heart to your everyday life. Because emotional well-being after 60 isn't about chasing constant happiness. It's about finding steadiness. It's about creating small rituals that help you feel more like yourself again. There's one more powerful technique that brings it all together, and it's one you might already be doing without realizing just how healing it can be. It's the simple act of practicing gratitude. Not the kind that feels forced or fake, but the kind that feels real and grounded, even on the tough days. You see, our minds are wired to focus on what's wrong. It's how we've survived, always scanning for danger or potential problems. But the problem is, if we let that take over, we start living in a constant state of worry. And over time, that takes a toll on our mood, our sleep, even our health. Gratitude helps balance that. It gently shifts our attention from what's missing to what's already here. From what's wrong to what's still okay. And the best part? You don't need anything fancy to practice it. Each evening, before you go to bed, try to name 3 things you're grateful for. Say them out loud, or write them down in a notebook you keep by your bed. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller, the better. Maybe it's the sound of birds outside your window this morning. The way your coffee tasted. A kind word someone said. Or simply the fact that you got through the day. The more specific you are, the more powerful the effect. When you notice the little moments that bring you peace or comfort, your brain starts looking for more of them. And slowly, that cloud of anxiety begins to lift, not because life is perfect, but because you're training yourself to see the beauty in the middle of the mess. Now, here's something important I want to remind you of: you're allowed to have bad days. You're allowed to feel low, tired, worried, even frustrated. Practicing these emotional check-ins and daily techniques isn't about pretending everything's fine when it's not. It's about creating space for all your feelings, without letting them control you. That's why this isn't just a one-time fix. It's a daily rhythm. Like brushing your teeth or taking your vitamins, these small emotional habits can become part of how you care for yourself every single day. Not because you're broken, but because you're worth the care. Let's take a moment and look at everything we've gently uncovered together. You've learned to start your mornings with awareness, by asking yourself how you feel before the world rushes in. You've practiced calming your body with your breath, reminding your nervous system that it's safe to relax. You've taken simple steps to move your body mindfully, reconnecting with the present moment. You've reached out for connection, whether that's calling a friend or simply allowing yourself to be heard through journaling. You've turned to music to shift your mood, let your inner voice grow softer and kinder, and ended your days with gratitude, quietly remembering that peace is still possible. These aren't magic tricks. They're daily emotional check-ins, gentle, powerful ways to tend to your mind and your heart, one moment at a time. And when you practice them regularly, something beautiful begins to happen. Life starts to feel lighter. Not because everything changes, but because you change in how you meet it. You start to notice when anxiety shows up, and instead of getting swept away, you take a breath and return to yourself. You begin to trust that you can feel what you're feeling, and still be okay. You discover that even in the quiet moments, especially in the quiet moments, there is so much strength in simply being. And if today you're feeling a little more hopeful, a little more at ease, hold on to that. Not tightly, but gently, like a soft thread running through your day, reminding you that you're not alone in this. That there are tools, and there is time, and that you still have the power to shape the way you feel. So if this video helped you in any way, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. What small step will you try today? What's one thing you found helpful when anxiety shows up? Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button. It helps this video reach more people who may need a little comfort today. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like more gentle guidance, practical advice, and encouragement for living well after 60. Because this journey isn't about doing it all perfectly. It's about showing up for yourself, one breath, one moment, one check-in at a time. Here's to living your most peaceful, present, and joyful life, no matter your age. You've got this. And I'm so glad you're here.